City have fired more than 2,000 employees due to losing $800 million in USAID funding. Governor Trudeau has left the office for the final time. Look at this.
Don't take Trudeau! Don't take a walk in the snow!
No legacy!
Come on! No, 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 no! That's Trudeau leaving for the last time as PM. Here he goes. Here he goes. Trudeau rolling out. Rolling out. Get the heck. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. There we go. Tyrant of the cottage. Good riddance.
This team has taken hundreds of violent criminals off the streets, and they're just getting started. FBI's new task force arrests 214 criminals, including Tren Agua and MS-13 gangbangers in 2 weeks. Narco terrorists in Mexico have their own mass execution ranch with mass graves unlike anything we've seen outside of the Middle East. The Mexican Auschwitz, a death camp in Jalisco, operated by CJNG and used as a forced camp for cartel assassinations and torture trainees. Found inside is a mass crematorium and hundreds of skeletal remains of victims. Narco terrorists are right on our border.
Actually know what he's doing.
This is exactly how you clean a mess up. Okay, you go in, you start cleaning up, and everybody's like, oh my God, there's roaches and there's criminals and there's gangsters and there's thievery. When you finally pay attention to the books of your business or your family, or in this case, the country, you're going to find the problems. Okay, America, wake up. You wanted to know the truth. You're finding out the truth. Confusion is blowing off. And I said this back in November on your show. By late February, March, we would be talking about a recession and deflation, that the mainstream media would be terrifying the American public, not with inflation anymore, but deflation and recessions and tariffs.
This is how you bring back business to America.
Look, this is how you run a business. This is how you run the family unit. All of America needs to pay attention to what Trump and Musk are doing right now. Donald Trump spoke on my stage to about 6,000 people. It was in between. He had just lost that election or had it stolen from him, probably the way you see it. And he told me then, he's like, look, the country's going to go into more and more problems. I'll come back and win this thing next time, and we're going to get the country back on track. Mm-hmm. That means you have to go in and do hard things.
Yeah.
If you're a leader, you get rid of the old leadership. First thing you have to do to fix something, get rid of the old leadership. That's what we did. America voted on that. Second thing is to get rid of the tiers of people below that, those departments, gut them.
Yeah.
And then you start adding people back, okay? But there's going to be some disorder for a minute. This is going to be a great thing for America.
And documents by AutoPen. Isn't this interesting? How many documents? Joe was having a trouble with cognitive ability. What about his mechanical ability here? Let's take a look at what's going on with AutoPens.
Signs by AutoPen. Who was signing all this stuff by AutoPen? Who would think you signed important documents by AutoPen? You know, these are major documents you're signing. You're proud to sign them. You have your signature on something. In 300 years, they say, oh, look, can you imagine? Everything was signed by AutoPen, almost everything. Nobody's ever heard of such a thing. So should have never happened.
What?
The Democrats are not particularly bright. And we went into the archives. We said, okay, we can show you all the current videos of Democrats not being bright. Is there something old? Is there something out there that's so old that the video doesn't even have color? Did that even exist? A time when things were in black and white that would perfectly illustrate the mindset of a Democrat. And hot damn, we found one.
This is Mr. Montgomery. I met him a few weeks ago in New York.
Oh, how are you?
You live here?
Yes.
Well, maybe you know what a zombie is.
When a person dies and is buried, it seems there are certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
How horrible.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?
Bob Hope, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, why don't you tell everybody about that? You made that happen. Hang on a minute. Hey, guys, Margaret Ann has something she wanted to share with you guys here. You know, it's a high price operation.
Very high price. Hey, just wanted to let you know that our group in India, someone actually sent us the estate planning series, Understanding Living Trust the Easy Way. We have the overview and all 8 chapters, and it is now on Rumble. Through a playlist, you should be able to see it there.
What's the channel name on Rumble?
Rumble is T Provenza.
It's still that channel name?
Yes. So please share it, enjoy it, and it will eventually be on YouTube. We just have to do a little more screening for that one.
So let's move forward. The U.S. doesn't have free trade. We have stupid trade. The entire world is ripping the U.S. off. President Trump announces a 200% tariff on all wine, champagnes, and alcoholic beverages from the EU unless they revoke their 50% tariff on U.S. whiskey. And a 300% tariff? Let's see what she has to say, Carolyn.
Ripping off the United States of America and hardworking Americans for decades. If you look at the rates of tariffs across the board that Canadians have been imposing on the American people and our workers here, it is egregious. In fact, I have a handy-dandy chart here that shows not just Canada, but the rate of tariffs across the board. If you look at Canada, since you brought it up, American cheese and butter, nearly 300% tariff. You look at India, 150% tariff on American alcohol. You think that's helping Kentucky bourbon be exported into India? I don't think so. 100% tariff on agricultural products from India. Look at Japan, tariffing rice, 700%. President Trump believes in reciprocity, and it is about dang time that we have a president who actually looks out for the interests of American businesses and workers. And all he's asking for at the end of the day are fair and balanced trade practices, and unfortunately, Canada has not been treating us very fairly at all over the past several decades.
So, moving forward, I see a black swan coming. Look at this. Do you see the black swan coming? I do. Look the heck out below. The most of my readers, the move in the markets today won't be much of a surprise. In fact, a couple of the names I talked about over the last week or two are actually green in today's blood red tape. For the most part, I've already explained why I think markets would be set up for a much bigger move lower. I described this in my March report review and piece explaining what the next crash would be very well different from those in the past. So what is happening, folks, is there's simply too much wealth, too much non-wealth in these stocks. Let me show you what's going on. Core producer price index has totaled the most since COVID lockdowns in February. Core producer price dropping the most month over month since April 2020. Take a look at the tail end there. Next slide. The PPI, the purchasing price power. Oh, golly days, what's happening here now? Core producer price index. Now, we're seeing it's heading down in this graph as well. So, transportation services were the biggest downside driver of the core producer price index. And see how this is heading down as well. Are you seeing the kind of trajectory you're looking at? Is this a place where you want to be holding your wealth in digital form? The Earner Berry Egg Index is heading down as well. So the cost of things are coming down. However, the value of the dollar is coming down as well. Energy prices are set to drag the CPI and producer price index even lower the next month or so. Lower economic activity means there's less V1 or velocity of money. We're looking at a pretty dire situation coming up for a lot of folks. If you don't harness your purchasing power, you're going to be just like everybody else. And if you do what everybody else does, you're going to get what everybody else gets. So you want to listen to the stockbroker who doesn't have anywhere near the money that you have, or God is not even a planner. A planner is somebody that's a fiduciary. I suggest you take a closer look at what you're doing. Get out of the digits. You can always get back in the digits, but can you always get the digits out of the coin of the realm? You think there's a finite supply in the coin of the realm? Absolutely. You think there's a finite supply of digital investments? No. They can invest that money in a heartbeat. So what I'd like you to concentrate on here is this gold to silver ratio, 88 to 1. That should be a showstopper. Folks, you should be shooting bullets at that thing right now. It comes out of the ground 7 to 1. and it's priced at 88 to 1. So why wouldn't you buy the silver when it's way underpriced compared to gold? And if you're holding gold, why would you go back and get 88 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of gold you have?